The Indian stock market has been on a tear downwards, spiraling downwards. What is happening? Is it one event that caused this, or was it a sequence of events? Why these set of stocks who have lost more than 50% or close to 50%? I'm going to give you a video that shows you the stocks that have lost a significant amount of money. Why is all this happening? Just take a look at this video first, and then before that, please like this video. Here we go. So, arise and awake. This is an attempt at explaining to all our viewers how things go in India's stock markets. For the longest time, I've been talking to you about front running, about how the market is rigged and only few people gain from this and many of us lose. For example, I've always poked fun at why people do day trading of the HDFC stock. Nothing wrong with the bank. The bank is one of the best managed. It does create a good amount of liquidity, good amount of interest for many of its investors. But what is there to trade in it day in and day out? Banks are very stodgy, entities. They don't really change every day. There isn't a new product they release every quarter. So why is it that people are obsessed about trading with HDFC stock? Somehow people think that, if 10 people buy, then the stock, value goes up and the 11th person sells and makes money off of it. Anyway, this is just the shallowness of the Indian stock market that has, led to this. So what is really happening here? Is it because one senior SEBI official is not going to get an extended term, a second term, and therefore bringing out some skeletons? And because that person said that there are many skeletons and I know where they are all buried. So is this what is happening? But then even here, from the time the finding happened of malfeasance to the time the actual action took place, a lot of time elapsed, 18 months as a matter of fact. Enough time to clean up. This is exactly what has been happening, whether it is National Stock Exchange, whether it is SEBI, doing all this front running, everything. Always they do it and then they give you a lot of time. Either that or the orders are so weak that they can be appealed and successfully overturned. So this has been happening for a long time, but this time there is a difference. What is it that is different? I'm going to show you a slide deck about what has been happening in a variant of front running, where you will see the interesting concept here in just a moment. Here we go. So 32 lakh crores wiped out in 5 trading days. What happened? And I thank my friend 𝗟𝗏𝗄 for the initial introduction to this developing scam. And then once we started looking into it, a lot of links, a lot of backdrop stories, what has been happening. And now I know exactly what is happening. There's this one infamous investor called 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗿. He is infamous for the 2000 stock market scam, and he has been debarred again by SEBI along with 21 others for alleged front running involving a large US-based foreign portfolio investor. There is a foreign portfolio investor, there is a foreign institutional investor, there is a foreign direct investor. I mean, these are all exotic variations of similar concepts. from Mr. P. Chidambaram. He loved to create something complicated out of something that should be simple. Be that as it may, most NRIs cannot actually easily participate in the India stock market. But people who are not NRIs can participate through FII and FPI. And guess what? Most of them use the Mauritius route, so they don't even have to pay capital gains tax. So what is the excuse given? That they are bringing in foreign investment. So I think the Indian government is always afraid to touch them because they think that if these people withdraw their money, then the stock market will collapse, and then people will think that the Indian economy is not doing well. You know what? The Indian stock market is very shallow. Out of 5,000 listed shares between BSE and NSE, I don't look at the other stock exchanges, they are too small. Only 150 to 200 are active on a given day. How can you say that this market is going up, therefore things are good? It's a very, very small band of stock. That's why I find it funny when if HDFC gets day trade up and down, up and down, up and down. So this doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, what was this fake scam? Remember, I told you about front running. What is front running? I told you it is something similar to buying tickets for a movie theater for a particular show and then waiting and seeing if somebody comes up to want to watch the movie. Well, they have planned the entire evening, watch the movie, go have dinner at a swanky place, and so on and so forth. Family of 7 or 8 people in a nice car, and they've all planned this thing for a while. Now they don't want to go, we're disappointed. So the owner or leader of the family decides to plunk extra money, buys the tickets, goes and watches the movie. You get the point. So front running is very similar to that. What was done was that I had explained this in terms of how somebody wants to take a particular stock and then buy it from every exchange, in this case the BSE and NSE mostly, and then hold on to it until the price starts going up to a particular level and then offload that stock. So the thing here is that they cleverly manipulate it such that at a given point of time, if somebody comes looking for a particular stock, only one individual has it. And when that individual sees the stock price going up and up, because this is demand supply, suddenly supposing one company like Infosys, for example, they have a gangbuster quarter, but no stocks, no shares are coming in the market because everything has been cornered by one entity. They're sitting there with these shares, and once the quarterly report comes, everybody wants to buy in on Infy shares. Then suddenly these people will say, okay, this is the price at which I'm going to sell, thereby making a tidy profit. So this is one way to front run. There is another way to look at it to front run. What has happened in this case is there is a foreign investor, foreign portfolio investor that has over $150 billion, I'm told, in global assets, had wished to have a particular set of stocks, but they wanted to buy these stocks only within a certain narrow range. So in order to facilitate that, Mr. 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗿 has used fake phone numbers, illicit trades, and a complex network to manipulate stock prices so that the prices of those particular stocks will never be outside of that band. And then they would just keep buying these shares. It's called as warehousing, and then in turn sell it to this foreign portfolio investor for a tidy profit, of course. So how did SEBI find this? They found that 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗿 and associates made illicit gain of 66.77 crores through front running. See, the number seems to be very small, but if you can establish the crime, then the punishment is the same, whether it is 600 crores or 6,000 crores or 66 crores. This is the beauty of the system. So is this what is happening? But there's always a but in India, right? I'll come to the but part in just a moment. SEBI had ordered the disgorgement, means give it back, of 65.77 crores and frozen the bank accounts of the accused entities, whoever it is that used. And I'm going to release the names in just a moment. The banned entities include GRD Securities, Salazar Stockbroking, Basukinath Properties, APR Properties, and others. By the way, the bunch of reference links that you are welcome to refer to understand, to get to the bottom of this. Key players include Rohit Salgaonkar, who allegedly facilitated the illegal trades by providing insider information. I think he blurted it out, and that's how SEBI even got an idea that a front-running operation of this kind is taking place. Again, all these data are available in the links. Please read them. Kedhan Parekh used at least 10 fake numbers under aliases like Jack, John, and Boss to execute trades. 𝗤𝗏𝗏 obtained non-public information on upcoming trades of the US-based fund and shared it with Kedhan Parekh. What does this mean? Non-public information is privileged information, not to be shared with others. Well, why did he then share it? That's a problem there, right there. Now, why is that important? The important thing here is that if, like for example, this global portfolio investor is interested in buying a particular share, that is non-public information. This person comes to know of it somehow and then shares it with Kedhan Parekh. And then what does Kedhan Parekh do? He goes to the market, rounds up the entire set of stocks that is needed. Then he warehouses them, meaning like he sits on them until foreign portfolio investor comes and picks up those trades. Kedhan Parekh and Rohit Salgaonkar used insider information about a big client's large stock transactions for fraudulent trades. 6 entities, referred to as front runners, executed trades based on leaked information to generate illegal profits. These big client trades were routed through specific entities such as Nuvama Wealth Management and Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Now, the culpability of each of these entities, each one is separate. We're not looking at all those things. We're just looking at the scheme itself. I'm not saying that every entity that was involved in this did something wrong. I don't think so. So that is for the government and SEBI to find out the culpability, if any, of each of these entities. So I'm just giving you the big picture here. Salgaonkar had a referral agreement with those brokerages to facilitate the trade. You know what a referral agreement is? A referral agreement is getting commission for referring something to someone. It could be like, for example, you moved into a 100 flat structure, only 10 are occupied, the other 90 are not occupied. So when you move in, the owner of the builder tells you, by the way, if you refer someone to me, I'll give you a referral fee of 10,000 rupees. I'm just making this up. It could be less, it could be more. It's called referral fees. So you go and talk to your cousin and say, by the way, you're looking for a house. Why don't you take a look at this flat? You'll be also close to home, blah, blah, blah. You get the point, right? And once the deal materializes, you get your referral fee. That's exactly what Salgaonkar was getting. Now, the scam was operational between Jan 1, 2021 and June 20th, 2023. This is a recent past. The interesting thing is 90% of that big client's trades pass through this network. Who is this big client? Capital International. And it claimed that Kedhan Parekh and Salgaonkar were warehousing stocks, not front-running, and supporting Salgaonkar post-SEBI raids. So they are actually trying to come to the defense of Salgaonkar. KP's operations often provided kickbacks to fund managers, benefiting domestic and international players. Now, kickbacks are slightly different as opposed to referral fees. You can even justify referral fees saying that, look, he's doing the marketing for your product and therefore he deserves some compensation. Kickbacks is overlooking something and doing something for which you are getting the money. And that is definitely illegal. SEBI identified the scam by noticing unusual trading patterns linked to the big client. What could be unusual trading patterns? Well, that part is not discussed in detail here. Essentially, SEBI has established that the trading patterns were unusual. Let's take it that way. The front running is a fraudulent trading practices where traders, I explained this to you right at the beginning, so I don't have to go through and read that. Now, why is the SEBI allowing insiders, brokers, and asset managers to gain access to privileged information? This itself is illegal. It's called insider trading. In India, insider trading is rampant. Why aren't they cracking down? Because if you don't crack down, everybody is going to do it. I mean, I remember when I used to work in the industry in the United States, public companies, right? There'll be somebody working in the company, mid-manager if you will, and he'll be working on something and ferociously. Suddenly the phone will ring. I mean, like the desktop phone. It is so insistent that you have to pick it up. You pick it up and the person starts asking questions. They don't even identify themselves. What do you think of the stock? What do you think of the new product that you got about to launch? And this guy is just trying to get rid of that person. So they just blurt something out. Essentially, that becomes insider information. And the person who's on the other side tends to make a call on this. So there are rules established in many public companies as to not to divulge anything. First, insist on knowing who you are talking to, or better still, don't even pick up the phone. So a lot of things are happening, but sometimes they do manage to sneak in and do it. So this is illegal information. This is insider trading. Now, what were they doing? They were executing trades before the client's order, benefiting from price changes caused by the order. So let's say 10 people chase one stock. What happens? Demand is more than supply. That one stock's price goes up. Now, if you happen to, of these 10, 9 of them were done before they realized that the stock was being wanted so much. Just 9 will get the lower price. The 10th may be ending up paying a higher price. But the 10th person might be thinking, oh, there is a momentum upward for this particular stock. Let me buy it and I'm going to sell it at a high. There's something like that. So this is one side. The other side is if the broker knows a particular big client is going to buy a particular share and they are going to buy big quantities of that, then they will buy it low and sit and wait for the big client to emerge so that they can sell that for a profit. Now, this is essentially what is happening. What they did was they put a complex web of companies. They tried to have multiple phone numbers. They had fake people calling. So these are all the things they did. That is the KP group, Ketan Parikh group, to try and avoid detection of this scam. Now, it was operational for 2.5 years, and there is a new alert system that SEBI has put in place that appears to have caught it. SEBI traced mobile phone locations, hotel bookings, IMEI numbers. You know what an IMEI number is? Every phone has a SIM card in order for you to make phone calls and an IMEI number. Now, let us say you think that you are calling from a different phone by taking the SIM card out. Okay, you're using one phone and you are using 2 SIM cards, and you think that the other side thinks that you are using 2 different phones, which means it's a random purchase. But no, both those calls will come from the same IMEI number. I don't remember the extension of IMEI, but it is referred in one of my Money series books. I've done an extensive explanation on IMEI numbers. In other words, the SIM cards will change, but since you are using the same phone and changing just the SIM card, they can catch it by looking at the IMEI number in the header of the call. From that, they know, aha, this guy has just changed his SIM card, but it is same phone. So they can catch you on that. So this is how they have caught KP. The interesting thing here is the phones were registered under different names, but often located together, implicating KP and his network. I told you how they are located together just now. Now, the other interesting thing is the scam used the traditional Angadiya network to transfer money outside the formal banking system. What is this Angadiya network? Is it like Hawala? I haven't done research on this, but I'm inclined to think that it is like Hawala. By way of comments, some of you can explain to us, the viewer, what Angadiya system is. So in June 2023, the SEBI conducted a 3-day search and seizure operation across 17 premises in collaboration with other authorities to gain evidence. So the evidence culpability was all established in June 2023. Yet, what happened? SEBI then directed Nuvama Wealth Management and Motilal Oswal Financial Services to strengthen their internal controls to prevent similar violations. Now, it's 18 months, and on November 25th, 2024, $5 billion worth of HDFC shares traded with minimal price impact without raising suspicions of warehousing or front running. See, that is the big kicker. If you are talking about a real product, right? Once HDFC, like I told you, HDFC is one of the most day traded stocks. And if HDFC, there was a transfer of $5 billion worth of shares, and there was hardly any price movement. That means somebody knew beforehand that an FPI is going to come in and buy this share, and they facilitated that by keeping the low and high values of the share at a very small price. This definitely would have triggered suspicion. How is it that this day so many shares are being traded and the per share price is not going up? So clearly somebody had suppressed the share from finding its natural value. This is what I always call as price discovery. In Indian stock market, price discovery is a huge problem. Price discovery means what is the real worth of a particular stock on a particular day. It is not for any one entity or a group of entities to decide. It is for the retail investor to decide. So a former politician and finance ministry figure reportedly advised KP to operate from the shadows, ensuring his continued influence. Come on now, you know who I'm talking about. Which former finance minister and which former finance ministry official? You see how when you don't go and act against them, these people continue to create trouble for you, Mr. Modi. I mean, I'm getting tired of saying this thing. I've written a book called C Company. This came 7 years ago. 7 freaking years, and you've done nothing. That guy still roams free. And we are still not figured out who Himalayan Yogi is. Even though if you read our articles, it will hit you in your face who Himalayan Yogi is. And all the other things around that Himalayan Yogi. Bullshit guy. Anyway, KP allegedly met with a senior PMO official. This is the thing that we have been telling again and again and again and again for the past 10 years. A list of 27 people, very senior ranked administrative service people with towards one particular group of parties. They are still there. You have not removed them, Mr. Modi. Yes, one of them perhaps is the one who KP met and arranged by his political ally, solidifying his invincible status. Essentially, they delayed action by the SEBI. So despite gathering substantial evidence, SEBI's 18-month delay in issuing orders has raised questions about internal and external pressures. Who is the politician? Who is the person in the PMO? Who is the person in the finance ministry? I have a guess on all three, but I'm not going to reveal it here. You know, the Modi government knows it too. Let them get rid of these three. Act on them. Throw them in jail. This is happening for a long time, by the way. I've been saying this again and again. They have not stopped insider trading. They have not stopped front running, and they just think that, oh, once Sree Iyer will come and say something, he's anyway a Swami Bhakt, which I am not. But you know, who cares? They just say, oh, this will be talked about for a few days, and they'll put 10 pack of 20 loudmouths who will come and issue, you know, bad statements and comments on my video and say that you will be wiped out, your family will be wiped out. I've heard some very bad stuff. Okay, unfortunately, I'm still standing at my family is thriving thanks to 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏. So my point in saying this is, you have a lot of people who are stealing you, robbing you blind. Those of you, especially the new entrants in the stock market, please be careful. Make sure that the stock that you are investing will make you money. Don't do day trading, just invest for the long term. Even in special investment plans, SIP, make sure that you have done your research. Choose the one that you are satisfied with in terms of its risk portfolio. Now, why is all this happening? It is believed, I said at the very beginning, that a senior regulatory official's unfulfilled tenure extension is rumored to have reignited SEBI's pursuit of KP. Now, what is the conclusion? 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗿 𝗏𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on Indian stock markets, even as SEBI intensifies its crackdown. So I can tell you this, from the time Chidambaram got involved with the finance ministry in 1996 is when he became finance minister, I think. But before that, he was Minister of Commerce. He got kicked out by P.V. Narasimha Rao. That's how I see it. Then he came back in, and that was probably pressured by Sonia Gandhi. Who else? Then why did Sonia Gandhi need this guy to be the Minister of Commerce? You can ask her. She won't tell you. Maybe you can ask Rahul Gandhi. He will tell. Sometimes he's in the mood to talk. Anyway, so all these things. So for 30, 35 years, these people are really, really wreaking havoc with India's markets. Indians deserve better. Their stock market need to be a lot more transparent. I hope that day is not far away. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.